Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Binal Rizky Bahtiar from class G, and today I will present about audience research. Introduction. Audience research. There are various types of audience theory depends on characterized by their aspiration and their underlying ideologies. In mass society theory, the mass media possess significant influence and the capacity to modify audience behavior. Frankfurt School, FS. The ruling elite employ mass media to shape and suppress the lower classes, compelling them to conform to the government desires and the extreme right-wing nationalist ideology of the Nazis. Morally, the early studies on audience and media effects emerged as a reaction against the pessimistic views expressed by FS scholars as advocated by American researchers. Criticism. Number one, we get assumption of a homogeneous and passive audience. The mass media function as a hypodermic needle. In bullet theory or hypodermic needle model, the audience is considered passive, meaning an understanding that considers that society is influenced more by the media. They passively accept what the media says. They accept directly what is conveyed by the media, or in other words, the media of powerful. And number two, assuming media message possesses the ability to induce behavioral change. As researchers presented media effects as excessively direct, overlooking the pluralistic nature of American society, which differed from German society. The effect of tradition. The dominant tradition in audience research that emerged in the United States after World War II. Assumption media messages have a direct and powerful impact on audience behavior, and attitudes to orientation or approaches. Number one, the message effect. Orientation characterized by a behaviorist and empirical perspective. Employ a laboratory research, examine change in audience behavior when exposed to or influenced by media message. Number two, the audience-oriented approach, a structural functional approach and focus on the social characteristic of diverse audience, such as a class background, educational levels, and other social factors. These social characteristics influence how audience receive or reject media message. The effect of tradition. One Yale University research such as Carl Hovland, Irving Janis, Fritz Seyfeld, with an academic background in psychology. The study explains that attitude changes are closely related to learning process, where individuals can change their attitudes during the learning process. Number two, Carl Hovland conducted research on behalf of the U.S. military. The goal to examine change in attitude resulting from exposure to media image and to evaluate the effectiveness of this communication material. Number three, exposure to certain media message and image could alter audience behavior. Problems and limitation of such studies. Beckett and the simplicial assumptions about society and the media. Society is homogeneous. The theoretical framework is supported by dominant assumption of empirical and behaviorist functional analysis. Fails to investigate the constructed and manufactured nature of violent image portrayed in television programs and films. Suggests that mass media is the sole cause that encourages violent behavior. The laboratory setting isolates respondents from external influences. Critical perspective. Critical perspective on audience studies begin by advancing several criticisms of the earlier studies and perspective. Number one, heavy reliance on empirical data in understanding and interpreting the meanings of media message and image. Number two, the fundamental philosophy and concept of this perspective still remain functionalist and behaviorist. Reception analysis, encoding and decoding of media message begin by examining communication in a holistic context, viewing the entire communication process as inseparable from society. All communication phenomena should be explained by examining the pattern of power relation with society. Audience studies should examine how the process of meaning making of media message by the audience is shaped through social and cultural structures. A critical approach that evaluates the process of meaning making and examines its relationship with a socio-economic structure of society. That's from us. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.